Hey guys, welcome to Six Girls Budgets. I'm Beth, and today I want to go over one of the most useful tools that I use every single month that is completely free for you to use. So let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Beth. Today I want to go over what I call a master budget. Now, a master budget is different than a monthly budget because the monthly budget covers everything for that particular month. So for December, you have Christmas, holiday parties, you have food, travel, gifts. You may get paid for time off work or you may get unpaid for time off work. So in December, you make a monthly budget, reflecting those kind of line items and distinct items. But with a master budget, it covers the entire year on basic day-to-day expenses they're required to sustain your way of living. So a master budget is designed to show you how much income that you have and how much outgoing you have so that at the end of the month, you can come out ahead and have money to save for things such as Christmas. So saving the extra money is going to help you set up your individual monthly budget. This budget is a budget that you use to kind of rely on an eye from month to month. So basically, your master budget is an overview of your needed funds to run a household and manage the average income from month to month. So this budget is the minimum needed amount on any given month to cover the basic expenses. It does not include holiday, birthdays, travel, or anything of the sort. It does not include luxury line items such as activities like movies, fair, pumpkin patches, Christmas presents. It does not include that. It should include some small luxuries such as you having home internet, a cell phone, maybe Netflix. And it also should include some extra set aside money for things such as debt or savings for future. A master budget must include your rent or mortgage payments, your average of your utility payments. So summer and winter can be very high, with your air conditioning and then your heat. So it's going to be an average of for every month. Your car payments and your gas that you need for your car. Insurance, such as your medical insurance, your car insurance, home insurance. Take me, for example, I have special sewer insurance and life insurance. So any kind of insurances that you pay. If you have daycare that you have to pay every single month, these are items that you pay every single month. If you have school fees, such as your kid every month has to take $200 for school lunches, or if they have to pay for, something at school that is an ongoing expense every month. Your groceries that you use every month, this is going to be the basic that you need to survive with your household. Any life-saving medications that you take, such as if you're diabetic and you take diabetic medication, something of the sort of that. Any subscriptions and auto withdrawals from your account. This is very important to take a look at your bank statement because sometimes you forget that you have a $3.99 charge that goes to iPhone, to pay for your extra storage capability, or that you have an $8, printer ink subscription. These are very important to kind of add up and tally up how many subscription charges that you have. So this is things like Netflix, if you have a PlayStation or Xbox subscription, anything that is auto withdrawed from your account on a month-by-month basis. These are your minimum, the absolute minimum debt payments that you pay. So if you have a student loan that you pay $200 or $300 or $25 or whatever it is, any personal loans, credit cards, anything that you pay, the minimum amounts is what you're going to include on this. So everybody's minimums are going to be different, but you do need to have leftover after these. So if you do not have any leftover after these basic minimum things, you either need to cut expenses. So such as maybe you don't need $1,500 for groceries. Maybe you could survive on $600 or $700 of groceries. Or perhaps you don't need Netflix, Hulu, and Disney. You could just survive on just Netflix. So this is a way that you could cut things, or you have an income problem and you can pick up a side hustle. So this is the absolute minimum that you need for the basics that you need for your life to be able to be happy and to run your household. So this is kind of how this should look. On your master budget, you should have your paychecks, and then you should have these expenses written out. So I figured I would just do a quick one with you really quick. So You're going to write master budget, and you could do this with a pen and a paper, or you could use a master budget or free budgeting apps that are available out there. I personally like EveryDollar. There is pen and paper. Excel has a spreadsheet that you can use. You can create one on Google Docs. There's lots of ways to create a budget. This is not your month-by-month budget, guys. This is what you're going to use to kind of reference and look back on every single month. So you're going to have income. And let's say this person makes $4,000 a month. And we're just going to average it. This is what your average income is. Some months people may have higher or lower based on things like side hustles. But we're going to go on what your average is. So income, we'll just say with all side hustles and everything, on an average is $4,000 a month. And then you're going to write your rent. Some people may have a rent of, we'll say, $1,000. Okay, and then you are going to have, all right, and then you're going to have your utilities. Okay, and my utilities can average, like in the summer, I pay about $150 for electric. And then during the winter, I really don't pay that. I pay probably about $150 for natural gas. And my natural gas in the summer is about $60 or so. So on average, I know between utilities are things like your electric, your natural gas, your water, trash, things like that. And I know on an average, I need $350 to $400. So I always budget about $400. This is a master budget. This could fluctuate, but you always want to have the minimum, but you want to have a little flex room in here. Okay, so your car payment should probably be a fixed payment. And car payments for me and gas, I need about $650 with car payments and gas together. And then my insurances, now that's a great one, guys, because like I just said, I have a ton of different insurances. So insurances, I have, we have a house insurance. We have a car insurance that's also tied in with that. So I do get a discount. So you might check into something like that if you have a car and a home to get a discount. And then I have life insurances. And then I have like private insurances for like the sewer lines and the water lines and stuff in my house. So I need about $450 a month for things like insurances. Daycare, school fees, and gym. I do not have daycare or school fees. Some people do like to put in the master budget. They just, if they don't have daycare or school fees, but they do have a child, maybe they know that once a year they pay those. They want to save that up. That's fine if you want to add that. I don't have these things, but if you have a gym membership that you pay, $20 or $30 a month. So we'll just call this daycare, school fees, and gyms. We'll just write daycare. But that is what that line item is going to be. Daycare, school fees, gym, things that you have memberships that are paid on a monthly basis that you plan to keep. Now, the next thing is your groceries, life-saving meds, and pet food. I just write groceries because I include all that. I do not have any life-saving medications. But if you do have life-saving medications, that does have to go onto your master budget, whether you pay $100, $1,000, whatever it is. That needs to be, this is the least amount that you pay to sustain your life in a normal, healthy way. So groceries, I have 2 daughters, so I think at a minimum is probably, it could really range because some months we buy in bulk stuff, and so we don't really need as much the next month. So I'd say about $500 or so. And I'm at a 0 for the groceries and school fees. We don't really have any memberships currently. Subscriptions and auto withdrawal. Guys, this could be a big one, okay? Because after I paid all my bills, I had $1,000 left over. And then I was like, where's all this money going? It's just eking out of my account, and I hadn't even used my credit card for anything. Guys, I had Netflix, I had Hulu, I had Disney Plus, and I hadn't even opened Hulu, and I don't even know how long. So there's a couple of different ways that you could get around that. You could either cancel things that you're not using, or you can combine them. Maybe there's new programs and plans out there that have ads included with them to save money. But this is where your subscriptions come in. and you need to total these up. This is everything that comes on an auto withdrawal. So you may print your bank statement or look online at your bank statement. I like to prefer to print it, get a highlighter or something, and underline anything that's an auto withdrawal that you know comes out every single month. I'm not talking about you going to Walmart and, grabbing some new jeans or, some new socks or grabbing some milk or something. I'm talking about every single thing that comes out every single month, such as your rent, utilities, your car payment, the iPhone subscription that you have for $5, your iCloud subscription for extra storage because your phone doesn't have as much storage. If you have a car, a newer car, if you have that $5 or $10 or $20 music subscription on your car, your Amazon, Alexa. I don't want to say her name because she's going to talk because I have one. But if you have a subscription for that, those are all considered subscriptions that you pay every single month. So you need to write that down. So that is about, I'm going to say around $200 or so because I've canceled quite a bit of stuff that we don't really use. And then you want to add your minimum debt payments. Okay, debt payments. Okay, so these are student loans. So student loans, and they are credit cards. Okay, so student loans, we'll just say is like $100 a month for most people. Credit cards, this could vary. This is where you vary from other people. Some people have no cards. Some people only pay $25 a month. Mine is only $25. I don't really have a very high credit card balance. It's something that I just use to order online for groceries and things. Some people have thousands of dollars in student loans. Some people have thousands of dollars in credit card. But this is your minimum payment. So what is the minimum that you get away with paying without having to pay extra? So minus 25, I think my student loan is about $100 or so. If you have any personal loans, that would be included here. Okay. And now I want you to take a look at, now, if you see right here, it says, check your bank statement for average payments. So you can kind of average these out by looking at your payment. Like your rent's probably not going to change. Your management company would send you a notice if your rent's going to change. I do want to remind you, if you have a mortgage, that can change, guys. And people are like, no, it can't. I'm set rate. No, your taxes every year change. They could go up or down. Most likely, they're going to go up. So your mortgage rate can possibly change, and people are not always aware of that. And, if your taxes change. So you need to kind of look into that and always have kind of a flux fund set aside for that. So basically, you want to know what your average income is, okay, and what all these payments are. And these are things that you pay no matter what. And this is also where you can start making cuts. So if you get to $4,000 income and at the end of this you have negative $70, guys, then that's a bad thing. And you want to make this where you have a flux of income. So if you have a negative, when you get to the end of all this, you could start cutting. So say we could take away $50 from groceries, and maybe we'll just do $4.50 on groceries. So we'll do like, $100 and, leave $100 a week, and then leave $50 as kind of a little flux fund every week, just in case I need to buy an extra thing of milk or something. You can maybe take away from this subscription and maybe just do $150 in subscriptions and maybe drop one of those streaming services. You may, with your insurance, you could call around and maybe get this. I got my insurance knocked down by, I think it was about $40 a month, because I called because when we bought our house, they had just put a new roof on there. Well, when I got my insurance and everything, I think I was paying close to $300 for, like my car insurance and my house insurance and everything together. And I was like, that seems like a bit much. And when I called my insurance agent, we started going over things, and I was like, well, we just got brand new paint on our house, brand new gutters, and brand new roof. This is what the lady had upgraded before she sold the house. And she's like, so I basically had to sign something saying that, we had a brand new roof and provide the information that it showed in the contract where we had a new roof, and they saved $40 a month, guys. That's a big savings that, you could fluctuate with that. So this is what a master budget, this is what that this is not without any other spending or anything. This is what at the end of the month, how much money that you have to make to be able to provide and cover these everyday expenses that you use. Now, at the end of this, we're going to flip the page over. You hope to have a couple of $100s for savings. And savings, okay, is what you can use to help you along with things like buying Christmas presents. Savings are a great way that if you budgeted $400 for utilities, but all of a sudden this month it is $550 because you ran your heater or your air conditioner for too long on the hottest days of the year, the coldest days of the year, and so your bill is extra $100 that you were not aware of. That is why you want to have an extra savings amount. So with anything that you have left over, let's say you have $600 left. If you have $600 left after you cover these basic expenses, this is where you can start dividing these savings, okay? So that's your master budget. That'll tell you if you have any room to play with, and if not, then that's where you can know that you need to make room. Now, if you have, say you have $600 left over to play with, okay? So savings can go to things like $100 emergency fund, okay? Let's say you have $600. So $100 emergency fund. We want to leave $100 buffer in our account, in our checking account, just in case we made any kind of mistakes on that master budget, or just in case this master budget was off by a little bit, or somebody added, like your husband, or you added a new subscription and forgot to tell one or the other. So you want to always leave a little buffer if possible. It doesn't have to be $100, but you want to leave something in there, so that way if something small, like a $5 iPhone charge, you know, for that iCloud storage, and you forgot to write it down, you don't want to get a $30 return check on that. That is horrifying. I've been there. You don't want that. So we want to leave either $50 or $100 or some kind of buffer. As much as you're comfortable with, leave some sort of buffer in there every single month. Okay. And then you can start maybe with your savings. You could start, you know, put some towards your emergency fund, leave some in as a buffer each month. You can set aside $200 for savings challenges. These savings challenges can then be saved for things like Christmas. You can save them for going on a trip. Or you could just say, I want to put $100. You could just say, I want to put $100 for my trip. I want to save this up every month, so at the end of the year, I have $1,200. You know, that's a really great way to save up for a trip at the end of the year. Maybe you're going on a weekend cruise with your husband. Maybe you're going on like a weekend date night or something with your husband, or taking your kids to an amusement park for the weekend or something. So that is a great way to save every single month. So you have, so that's $500. Now you have $100 left of that $600. Choose to keep adding it to your emergency fund, or you could even make a separate savings for it. I mean, there's a lot of different things you could do. Or with that extra $100, maybe your line items, okay, did not include anything fun. Okay, so that's where you could have, you know, everybody needs to be able to go to Walmart and, you know, go buy them some candy, or go buy a soda pop, or they want to be able to buy a new pair of pants, or whatever it is. You could use that as your personal spending money. So that is kind of a way to break it down, guys. This is just what you're going to use from month to month. So these are average that you know that no matter what, based on your income, let's total it up. Okay, so if this person has an income of $4,000, okay, you're going to minus out that's supposed to say 1,000, not 100. Well, wouldn't that be nice, guys? Okay, so if they have an income of $4,000, guys, you're going to minus out $1,000 right off the top. That's for rent. Minus out $400 for utilities. Minus out $650 for your car and maybe gas. Minus out all the insurances that you have. $450. I don't have daycare, but some people may have a couple $100 in daycare, or $1,000, or I don't know. Daycare's insane. And then minus out $450 for groceries. And then we're going to minus out $150 in subscriptions. Whoops. Equals minus We'll say 140 because I just did 10. And then minus, let's see, minimum debts. So minus out. So we have 900. So $900 minus $100 student loan minimum. Minus out $25 in personal credit cards. Okay. And that leaves us with $775. So, I mean, the 600 could be $775. We'll call that $775. But that is where you get these totals that you could have extra left over. Now, when you get to the end of that month and you have $775, but yet you went to Walmart and shopped 90 times, or you went to Kohl's and Ross and JCPenney's and, you know, the gas station 9,000 times and spent $50 each time going because you had to buy some candy and some smokes and some, you know, whatever they sell at the gas station. I don't know, because I don't go inside very often because I try to avoid that. That helps me. Just paying at the pump helps me avoid spending so much. But this is where you can know where your money is going. And you can know that on an average, you have $775 left over on a $4,000 income, guys. So this lets you know $775 is just, you know, what are we doing with it? So you can look for it in your transaction history and stuff. But you know, on an average, this is how much money that you need is $4,000. You need this minus out $775. So 4,000 minus 775. You need on an average, well, this person is $3,225 is what is required for the current life to sustain it. This is everything without savings. This is not including savings, okay? $3,225 covers everything. Rent, utilities, car payment, insurance, groceries. So that is what you know that you need to make. And if you are not making that at your current job, that's when it's time to either start cutting somewhere or to pick up side hustles, get a promotion, work overtime, etc. Okay, so if you want to have money to save, this is a great tool to use. This is a master budget. Now, your monthly budget, you know, then you can include things in like, oh, I have a birthday this month. So you write a new budget each month. And so, because your income could fluctuate. Some people's does. Some people are, you know, cashiers and waitresses and things like that. They may not be on a salary, or they're picking up a side hustle, so they're getting a couple extra $100. So this $4,000 income I could turn into $5,000 or $6,000, you know, by picking up, you know, some side gigs every single night, selling things from my house, doing things like that. So, but this is a master budget that you can use month by month because, you know, no matter what, minus out, you know, things like Christmas and stuff, but you know, every single month without having things like Christmas and birthdays and holidays, the bare basic necessities that you're comfortable living off of equals out to $3,225. Okay. And so if you want extra money for things like Christmas and stuff like that, then you know that anything on top of that is where you have the extra money. When you're saving that $775, if you're spending it every single month on Ross, you know, or going to Walmart, you know, you can start saving it. So, all right, guys, that is all that I have for you. This is a free tool. You can do it with a paper and a pen. You can do it on EveryDollar. It's a really great tool. It's free. They also have a subscription. I've never used the subscription option. I just plug my numbers in and then each month copy it over and make any changes to it. So I kind of have a master budget set up on EveryDollar, and it copies over each month, and then I go in whenever I pay, say, my water bill, and if it's not $75, if it's $125 this month, which some months it is because my child likes to take 2-hour-long showers, but so if it's not that much, you could change it each month on there. So it's a really great tool. I think YNAB has a budgeting option. There's several different ones out there depending on the phone that you use. You want to do it on the computer yourself on Excel. Write it out with pen and paper I do it every single month on pen and paper, and I also do it on my phone. So everywhere I go, I have my phone with me, and I can look and see how much was my grocery budget again. Oh, you know, I have a $600 grocery budget. I have a $500, $400, whatever it is. So guys, this is a great tool that you should have, that you should always know what your minimum is. So you have this in the back of your mind every time that you're going to work, every time that you're going to go spend that dollar. You need to think, did I make enough money to go shop at Ross today? Because I have to have $3,225 to be able to provide everything that my family needs for the month. Okay? So this is what I want you to know. What is your number for your master budget? Mine is $3,225 for this person. Well, it's not technically mine, but pretty close to it. So $3,225 covers every single thing that I need without savings, though. That's just covering the basics. That's living paycheck to paycheck, guys. And we don't want to live paycheck to paychecks. We want to have that extra $775, okay, to put away for savings. Okay, and to buy Christmas presents without putting them on a credit card. And we want to have it so that way we can have an emergency fund if, say, our tire blows out on our car and we need new tires. Say that extra charge comes through on the credit card and we need that account buffer in there. We want to be able to go visit Colorado. We want to be able to go to, you know, Florida someday. We want to be able to spend $20, you know, and go buy those jeans, but we can budget for it, right? All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. Talk to you later.